The 4-day deep forest survival trip of the two bros has officially begun. As soon as they arrived, Eagle Eyes spotted a log covered in tasty mushrooms. Down at the stream, his buddy quickly tossed a net and scooped up some fresh fish. Back at camp, they rolled up their sleeves to clean the fish for dinner. A roaring fire was quickly lit to chase away the creepy forest chills. Our shirtless guy pulled out his tools to chop stuff for a hot pot of soup. Lacking ingredients, he just ripped open 2 packs of instant noodles into a small pan. Classic. The two bros intensely stirred the noodles, their starving bellies praying it cooks faster. It's a humble meal, but in this middle of nowhere, it's basically a Michelin star feast. Bellies full, they threw their backpacks on to hunt for the next snack. Pushing through the bushes, the trail got rougher and harder to walk. To save time, they rolled up their pants and waded straight through the freezing stream. Walking along the slippery, muddy bank, they had to be super careful not to eat dirt. Stopping by a hanging bamboo trap, our guy smiled like he just won the lottery. Far away, a mysterious cliff appeared, making them want to swim over and snoop around. Carefully walking on a log bridge, he searched for the perfect spot to set a trap. The DIY trap was tied tightly to a branch pointing straight into the water. The boy balanced on the big log like a true jungle ninja. Into the water again, he carefully cast a net to trap the fish hiding under the rocks. His teammate on the shore held his breath, watching the pro net casting moves. He dived like an otter, chasing the fish hiding in the deep water. The result wasn't great, but they didn't complain or rage quit. Luckily, they stumbled upon a fallen tree covered in giant, fresh mushrooms. Jackpot! Fast hands, fast eyes. The guy scooped all the mushrooms into a plastic bag. So many mushrooms his hands got tired. Plenty of sweet soup for dinner. Grabbing the last clumps, he grinned from ear to ear at today's epic loot. Taking the loot to the stream, he carefully washed the mud off each mushroom cap. Not wanting to lose, his buddy whipped out a fishing rod, ready for battle. He carefully baited the hook, hoping to catch a big fish to upgrade their meal. Back to camp at dusk, the rice cooking operation began immediately. Since they hit the jackpot today, they decided to cook a full pot of rice to feast. Adding clear stream water, everything was ready to hit the roaring fire. The blackened old aluminum pot started bubbling on the wild campfire. While waiting for the rice, our guy pulled out the mushroom bag to make soup. The buddy paced around, tidying up the messy gear scattered around the camp. Huddled in a corner, he carefully tore each mushroom into a handy pot lid. The tough ones got sliced thin so they'd actually become chewable in the soup. The evening forest grew quiet, leaving only the osmer sound of crackling firewood. The boiling mushroom soup was stirred well, smelling absolutely divine in the wild. The rice was perfectly cooked. Opening the lid revealed fluffy white grains looking delicious. Soup's done. He covered it to keep warm while waiting for the main dish. Just in time, the night fishing teammate returned carrying a heavy plastic bag. Opening it up, wow, dozens of fresh stream fish right there. No time for talking, hot oil ready. The chubby fish were tossed in to fry crispy. The smell of fried fish filled the camp, making their starving stomachs scream. Food served. The bros happily scooped rice onto plates and started destroying the meal. Dinner with fried fish and sweet mushroom soup. One bite and all the fatigue vanished. Under a dim flashlight, they munched away and chatted loudly about tomorrow. The soup was so good they slurped it up noisily, emptying the pot in no time. Bellies full to bursting, they crawled into the tent, ready to snooze after a long day. Seeing the pith helmet left at the edge, everyone was already in a deep, exhausted sleep. The silent night swallowed the forest, leaving only the annoying bugs chirping. Despite just a few bamboo sticks and a thin tarp, the bed was a great wind blocker. The midnight forest wind blew through the leaves, bringing bone-chilling cold into the tent. Next morning, thick fog still danced around the camp, looking like a movie scene. Waking up early, shirtless guy sat down to prep the kitchen for breakfast. Last night's dead fire was blown back to life to boil water for some warm tea. The buddy also crawled out of the tent, stretching and inhaling the fresh air. Putting on his trusty fedora, he sleepily walked around checking the campsite. Breakfast done, they geared up, grabbed knives and nets, and went hunting for lunch. Goodbye, sweet camp. The duo kept following yesterday's old stream. The morning stream bank was slippery, so they had to walk like they were stepping on eggshells. Our guy tightly gripped a fishing rod, just in case he found a deep pool full of fish. Wading into the cool water, he eagerly checked the DIY bamboo trap from yesterday. Turns out he was tying a huge chunk of meat to lure any passing baby crocodiles. Fixing the strings tightly, he hoped this tasty bait would catch a big beast. All set, he nodded proudly and left the trap to do its job. The winding stream led their steps deeper into the mysterious wild. Wading through hidden rocks, the clear water gave the bros a massive mood boost. Suddenly, he froze and pointed forward like he spotted a school of fish. Without hesitation, he crouched down, ready to unleash a surprise net attack. The net felt heavy as soon as it hit water. Thrilled, He quickly pulled it up to check the loot. A splashing streamfish was completely tangled in the sturdy net. Gotcha. Untangling it, he grinned widely, because the forest delivered a gift this early. Not satisfied yet, he threw the net again, hoping to wipe out the whole fish family. Caught a few small ones this time, but combined, it's enough for a fragrant grilled fish meal. He packed his gear and washed the fresh fish right in the babbling stream. Then, our guy went to the bank and cast a net full of hope. Heaven rewards hard work. Just pulled it up and fish were splashing everywhere, guys. Quickly grabbing the loot, this stream carp looks pretty darn legit. He carefully washed the fish in the cold stream for the upcoming mega feast. Not stopping there, he dived back in to untangle branches from his net. A huge, heavy log was stuck. He had to use his ultimate power to pull it out. Back on shore, straight to prep work. A sharp knife sent fish scales flying everywhere. A basket of fresh fish is ready. Just looking at it makes my stomach roar. The bestie also rolled up his sleeves to help out. With 2 people, it's a piece of cake. Division of labor. Scrubbing fish by the babbling stream sounded pretty chill. Now, carrying the fish bag back to camp, dumping them out for the barbecue execution. Meticulously arranging the chubby fish on a super rugged DIY branch grill. It's no small amount of fish. The whole grill is packed. It'll take days to finish. While waiting for the fish, let's peek at the well-shielded camp in the deep forest. It started drizzling, but the red-hot fire kept a whole corner of the forest cozy. Here's the prize. The golden smoked fish smells heavenly and is practically begging to be eaten. Stuffed full. Why not chill on the hammock and watch the forest rain for some poetic vibes? Ultimate chill view from the tent. Surrounded by lush greenery, surprisingly peaceful. Chilling with legs crossed, listening to the rain hit the tarp. Feeling like a forest fairy. The quiet space with only nature sounds is truly the ultimate healing potion for the soul. He woke up, relaxed a bit, and recharged before the next mission. Following the familiar trail, our main character waded into the muddy, silty stream again. Still that same wild stream, providing an all-you-can-eat buffet for forest survival days. This time, he decided to test a new ultimate move, setting a rope trap by the shallow bank, tying it tight to a tree base to ensure any unlucky prey can't escape. Carefully camouflaged with dry leaves, the trap was slyly blended into nature. The twig trigger mechanism was super sneaky, just a light touch and snap. The lasso is ready. Now, just sit back, relax, and wait for a naive victim to stroll by. He scattered some bait to spice things up and lure in some greedy forest critters. Looking at his masterpiece, the guy nodded, proud of his natural-born assassin skills. The trap looks basic, but its power is no joke. Let's wait and see the results. Setup is 100% complete. Trap set, bait dropped. Perfect timing and placement. Back to the lovely camp at dusk, the atmosphere getting all foggy and mysterious. Night fell on the dense forest, signaling another challenging survival night ahead. He quickly checked his gear under the dim light of his trusty frog-hunting flashlight. Fully equipped, our hero grabbed a plastic bottle and headed out for a thrilling night hunt, climbing a steep, slippery slope in pitch black, a heart-stopping challenge for any ranger. Every step was super careful. One slip and you're tumbling right into the stream. Moving deep into the silent forest, the flashlight swept through bushes hunting for clues. And voila! Target spotted. He ninja-walked through the branches to get closer quietly. The afternoon trap caught something. He shone the light and untangled it with a huge grin. Bringing the loot home, a steaming pot of meat stew was quickly put on the fire. Popping the lid, the amazing smell spread everywhere, and the starving bellies went crazy. In a freezing night forest, a hot bowl of stew like this is basically a royal feast. The fire crackled joyfully, lighting up a corner where he was enjoying his midnight snack. The tent corner is basic but super cozy, blocking rain and wind like a champ for cold nights. The dry bamboo bed was tidied up, blankets ready for a hardcore sleeping session. Hanging some wet clothes by the fire to dry. Basic Forest Survival 101, folks. Sitting deep in thought by the pink fire, enjoying rare peace after a long day. Oh snap! An army of huge black ants marching on the bamboo. Careful, their bites will swell up. Looks like the yummy food smell invited the whole ant legion to beg for some leftovers. Ignoring the ants, looking up at the towering ancient trees in the mysterious night is breathtaking. Branches tangled like giant arms, hiding the entire starry night sky. Fog started rolling in, covering the camp in a spooky, blurry blanket. Back to the trusty bamboo bed. Everything quieted down for some sweet dreams. Holy cow! A bunch of chubby frogs laying all over the bamboo bed. Tomorrow's drinking party is sorted. His night hunt loot is impressive. Harvested a bunch of fresh countryside delicacies. The night forest returned to its usual silence, with only frogs croaking away. Sunrise! The guy woke up in his thin blanket, stretching cheerfully to welcome the new day. Lounging on the hammock, Looking at the lush green forest after a rainy night is so relaxing. Chirping birds mixed with the babbling stream created an epic nature symphony. The camp survived a stormy night, proving his tarp tying skills are top tier. Still drizzling on the roof? Guess I'll just be lazy a bit longer and enjoy the cool breeze. Time to get up. First mission: revive the fire to boil water for morning tea. The soot-covered aluminum kettle is whistling on the stove, ready for soul-awakening coffee. The basic kitchen corner holds so much joy for a wild, free nomad life. Blue smoke lingered around the rain-soaked green leaves, making a super poetic scene. The forest rain clearly didn't want to quit, dropping heavy beads on the flimsy tarp. Sitting in the tent, he thoughtfully shared the struggles of facing this brutal weather. Still, a smile stayed on his face. His optimistic spirit refused to be defeated. Rain got heavier and splashed the bed, forcing him to retreat deep into the tent to stay dry. A fake fishing lure hung off the tarp edge, with rainwater pouring down like mini waterfalls. Too rainy and sad to go fishing, so he just sat watching the fake bait swing in the wind. Looking outside from the tent, it was pitch black, lit only by a faint flashlight beam. Rain poured heavily off the tarp, creating giant puddles all around the camp. Stomach roaring again, he decided to throw a pan on and stir-fry last night's frog meat. The smell traveled far, smoke billowing. Looking at that seared meat makes you drool. Quickly laying back on the hammock, he rolled up in a cozy blanket and slept like a log. Waking up the next morning, my eyes were greeted by a swarm of bees covering my wet sleeve. Looking outside, the dense forest after last night's rain still looked pretty gloomy. Water pouring from upstream turned the once gentle little stream into muddy silt soup. Even though the water level rose, luckily the camp area was absolutely safe. Glancing at the clothesline, the laundry from yesterday was still soaking wet. But in these hardcore conditions, they just had to suck it up and wear wet clothes. Taking advantage of the rain stopping, they started packing up to get the heck out of there. The slippery, muddy dirt road promised a miserable and struggling journey home. Inside the tent, the buddy was busy tearing down the plastic roof. Every personal item was double-checked by our guy and stuffed neatly into the backpack. The noisy campsite from the past few days has now been returned to its original wild state.